And today we are talking about happy science. Are we not, Viv?
We are. We're talking about the Institute for Happiness Research, or Happy Science, as it's more colloquially known. Was run by Ryuho Okawa up until a couple of months ago when he died. Don't know what he died of, because Japanese media pretty much always says found in a state of cardiac arrest or whatever, and that basically just means dead, right? Their heart
Yeah.
stopped, but they don't want to announce that the person is dead yet, so they say, they've been
Yeah.
found in a state of cardiac arrest. But yeah, we don't.
Well, exactly. Well, cardiac arrest is literally just, I mean, everyone has cardiac arrest. That's sort of the definition of being dead, really, isn't it? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
their heart stopped working. Yeah, but why?
yeah. So
Like,
we don't,
I could have told you that, and I'm not a doctor. Like, you know.
it is possible he died of happiness, although
Well, that seems a little unlikely.
possible but unlikely.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Although if I was getting that much fucking money just for pretending to be the ghost of Margaret Thatcher, I'd I'd probably be pretty happy too.
well, we'll get on to that in a second, because yeah, he's the seances. People, if you're an old frog on the channel, you will have seen me cover Happy Science before. They are, I mean, honestly, some of the most entertaining grifters, if nothing else.
Ah,
Yeah, and they're just fucking crazy. Basically, he's
glad I could
he,
have.
he pretends to, well, he claimed to be the reincarnation of various religious figures. It was enormously offensive to a number of cultures across sectors of time, including he claimed to have been Odin, Muhammad, various other. Did he ever claim to be Jesus? I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, basically all of you big religious bods.
Well, he is El Cantare.
Yeah,
right?
and he claims to
And
be
El Cantare is like the god of gods that has been all these other gods.
Indeed, and
Yeah.
in the human form of Mr. Okawa is his latest incarnation to oversee mankind. Was the
Yeah.
basic grift of the matter, and it was undoubtedly a grift because you could buy into the organization in a kind of pseudo-religious pyramid scheme type situation, based on that you could give a few dollars or you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars and essentially buy your way into positions of certain privilege within the organization.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's really, really obvious when you look at the shrines. Everybody can buy their own personal shrine, their
Yes.
little doorway of light that they can use to pray at, and there's some really, really basic ones that are just sort of essentially like a little wooden placard that you put on a desk, all the way up to elaborately constructed cabinets and stuff that are hundreds of thousands of yen. That's tens of thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not just a culty religion thing or a mishmash of various religions. It's also a political movement. I think that's the kind of arguably more potentially dangerous thing.
Yeah, they have their own political party in Japan called the Happiness Realization Party.
Indeed, they do. They're quite small. Only 21 councillors across all of Japan, which is not a lot for a country of 200 million or whatever the fuck it is. So they're not particularly massive at the moment, but we'll wait and see. They claim to have 12 million members across the world, but that might be as low as 15,000, so who knows. But either way, they pull in a lot of money, and their religious beliefs are fucking wild. Their main thing is the remilitarization of Japan. They have the leader of that party, which was his now ex-wife, obviously, or widow. No, ex-wife, isn't it? Because she divorced him. Because she's a demon, naturally. Yeah, and she, as indeed was his son when he left. It's crazy how that happens, isn't it?
His wife and son, they were both demons. And
True.
That's why they left. Another case of really badly divorced man syndrome. We're
Yes.
seeing a lot of those.
Yeah, it's what I like to call the Glinner effect. It's a tragic thing to see that happen. Yes, therefore the remilitarization of Japan. like I say now, ex-wife, who was the leader of the Realisation Party, literally said in her election campaign that one of her pledges was to nuke China. Not as a joke, not as a like a it's ha ha ha. No, that's the whole thing. They're really terrified that
they're like hardcore Japanese nationalists.
Yeah,
and that comes with like really savage aggression towards China
and North Korea.
Korea. Korea.
Well, Korea, yeah.
But just
yeah.
And denial of the war crimes of the Imperial Japanese.
Yes, indeed. They deny the Nanking massacre, or Nanjing as it now is called, and indeed the use of what was called comfort women. Now, the comfort women are a horrific thing, which I think I have covered on the show before.
Yeah.
It was essentially the institutionalized, raping of women, tens of thousands of women across mostly Korea, but certainly in China, and some were exported back to Japan for the practice, essentially for the sexual relief of Japanese soldiers. It was unbelievably savage and disgusting thing, which right-wing nationalists in Japan, like I say, refuse to accept. They are like the ultra-nationalist type people in that regard.
Remember, caused particular consternation a few years back when he demolished a statue of a woman that was meant to represent comfort women. So they really don't like the insinuation that the Imperial Japanese did anything wrong whatsoever. And the Ryuho Okawa, like we said, he does these seances, right? He talks to what he calls the guardian spirits, which are like supposedly twin spirits of the person that exist in the ethereal realm.
Yeah.
So they have the same thoughts and ideas and the same personality, but they're not quite the actual person. But it's basically like talking to the actual person. So he did this seance with the erstwhile Prime Minister of Japan during the Second World War as well, Hideki Tojo, and he channeled him and said, you need to convince the foreigners that the Imperial Japanese did nothing wrong. You should be honoring all these people who gave their lives for this country, and starts crying while he's saying it.
And it's really interesting because every time he embodies one of these people's spirits, as we're about to see with Margaret Thatcher, it's always in perfect alignment with exactly the thing he already believed.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, right?
It's almost like he's just trying to put words in these dead people's mouths.
It's crazy how everybody from Nelson Mandela to Martin Luther King to Margaret.
Yeah, I think Martin Luther King.
Hideki Tojo, Prime Minister during the period of Japanese Empire. Like, it's weird how they all seem to have the same political views. It's crazy to me.
Some people would say Martin Luther King for peace and justice around the world, but I think he would definitely have been for the nuking of Japan and North Korea as well. So
I mean, isn't peace and justice the subjugation of all non-Japanese races?
Yeah, kind of, a little bit. But that's actually the point. They clearly do have a kind of supremacist agenda of sorts, and back up a supremacist agenda. But they do also have a bizarrely contradictory internationalist streak through their thing of, essentially, they want to take over the world. Now, of course, they want to take over the world and have the Japanese as like the top. But I don't get the impression they necessarily hate anyone outside of China and North Korea. But they do want to rule over them, I think is the point.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, the Japanese far right are pretty much all like this.
Yes and no, in the sense that, I mean, they are conservative, but one thing I found reading about them, again, I suppose I'm sort of taking them at face value, and maybe they've got a deeper problem or whatever, but they seem to not be as insular and kind of Japan needs to be kept pure and perfect as some of the other Japanese nationalists are. Now, that doesn't make them necessarily better, because they're still Japanese supremacists. I don't think they're as weird about it in some respects.
Okawa had to make his organization international for it to make more money, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's probably like a certain degree of temperance to foreigners, because because they're such a large part of his organization.
Yeah.
Basically, he needs followers from all over the place. Otherwise, he wouldn't be making enough money.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know what enough money is, but it's certainly enough to have lodges, churches in countries around the fucking world: America, Malaysia, the United Kingdom, all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Really quite an expansive. You said you doubted the numbers of like 2 million.
No, they
could be as low as 15,000.
Yeah, well, yeah. Researching into it, the official number they claim is 12 million.
Oh, 12 million.
Yeah, they claim to have 12 million, but some people have claimed it's probably about as low as 15,000. So
I mean, as ever, the answer's probably somewhere in the middle, but it's certainly all over the world at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely, they definitely are. International.
And these kind of views bring them into close alignment with. You're going to start to see a pattern, I think, with a lot of modern cults that we end up covering with Donald Trump and QAnon and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a strong conspiracy theorist thing. Again, one of the themes is a denial of basic science and medicine and stuff. Like they were selling healing potions for COVID-19. Even that they weren't at all. They were probably just sugar water, like all the other fucking hacks do. But they were selling it for a lot of money, and people probably died because of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I don't know what's in those, but I hope it's at least harmless, because quite often it's not. Right, like if you remember when we were talking about the other slightly Trump and QAnon aligned cult last week.
Yeah.
Their idea of a cure-all was colloidal silver, right? Love has won.
Yeah.
And that, combined with alcoholism and anorexia, probably topped off their leader.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Sugar pills, by comparison, would be positive.
Would be good.
A boon, yes. Okay, shall we take a look? Hang on, I need to share this with you, don't I? Shall we take a look at their amazing... And it is, honestly, for performance, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. For accuracy, a 0 out of 10. And for honesty and ethics, an absolute minus number.
I think it's the voice. I think it's the voice that gets me.
Because it's a thick Japanese accent,
he tries to put on this lady voice, but it's a very... Yeah. It's a very old person's It's a very old Japanese person's idea of what an old lady sounds like.
Yeah.
So it's pretty bizarre.
It's important to know, for the purposes of this, that Margaret Thatcher's husband was called Dennis.
Yes.
So, like, he's not Dennis. When he's calling out for this person, he's not calling out for like an attendant called Dennis. He's pretending to be Margaret Thatcher.
Mm.
And this was done in London in like 2013. Yeah, it says there.
Yeah, it was like 9 hours after Margaret Thatcher died, I think. Was it 9 or 14? I forget.
Something like that, yeah.
Not long after her death was announced.
Not long. And ironically, I would argue this is more disrespectful than getting the Wicked Witch of the West to #1 in the charts. Because he's literally pretending to be Margaret Thatcher. It's amazing.
I honestly... disrespecting Margaret Thatcher, I think, is a great British pastime.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. That wasn't a criticism I'm making of him. I'm just pointing it out. That's one of the few good bits he's ever done, if I'm honest. Yeah, taking the piss out of Margaret Thatcher. The fact that he's doing it for money is a bit rough, and the fact that he does these things as pseudo press conferences, in essence. But the quote unquote journalists you may see asking him questions as her are just his followers. They're not actual journalists who've been invited in from the press. They're just his followers.
Yeah, no, they're followers asking semi-scripted questions. Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher, come down to this place and...
Oh, hang on, I'll get rid of my thing now.
Our questions.
Oh.
You find you were dead yesterday?
Huh?
Can you understand?
I can't.
Oh.
I'm still alive.
Your ex-Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher?
I've been Prime Minister. Dennis!
Okay, I mean, I know she had some mental issues in her later life, but she hadn't been Prime Minister for like fucking 15 years or something. No, 25 years, 2013, so yeah, like 23 years. I think she knew she wasn't currently Prime Minister anymore. I don't know. I mean, look, accepting death, I wonder if the spirit of dead people goes through the same 7 stages of grief. And maybe the ghost of Margaret Thatcher was at the denial stage. That, perfectly plausible. I think we can all agree.
I love this question too. You were one of the greatest prime ministers of Great Britain. Everybody acknowledges that. Like, do they?
Well, firstly, no. And secondly, she was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Get your fucking facts straight, mate. Embarrassing lack of geographical knowledge from Japan. Which you'd expect. Japan is an island nation. The fact that Northern Ireland is across the water there, shouldn't bother you. Okay?
Yeah, true. I mean, they have islands that are part of Japan as well.
That's why I said that. I said they're an island nation.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I meant there are like other islands there. Like.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. The 4 main ones though: Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Kyushu, or something like that. I can't remember. I did. It's I'm going back to GCSE geography here, people. I remembered Honshu,
Okinawa, or the Ryukyuan Islands. Yeah. There's a lot. Anyway, sorry, Karen.
They still claim South Sakhalin, which isn't even an island. It's a peninsula.
Well, this is that's a bit of background to what she's about to say, by the way, because they're talking about the incursion into those islands by China. A little bit later in this. Sorry, but carry on.
Yeah.
One of the greatest prime minister in Great Britain. Everybody acknowledge it.
And not just Iron Lady, a hot Iron Lady.
No. Okay. Couple
Iron Lady.
Couple of interpretations. Either he means hot iron as in like strike while the iron's hot. She was decisive about making decisions. Or, and this is the one I personally prefer, this man has definitely masturbated over Margaret Thatcher.
Good God.
It could be either of those two. And now he's dead, we'll never know. Unless the next incarnation does a seance of him. Which would be fucking brilliant. And ironic in so many ways. Someone should take over that cult, pretend to do a seance with him, and get him to say, oh, actually, no, Japan shouldn't be militarised. Maybe we shouldn't nuke major urban conurbations in China with tens of millions of people in them.
It might work. It might not work.
It's worth a try, I reckon. It might be one of the few peaceful ways this stops. I don't know.
The excellent statesman must have courage.
You know, China has a lot of island disputes with surrounding nations.
Are you a man?
Or, that's an even better one, sorry. Or, he knows she's gone to hell, so she's literally a hot iron lady. Because she's in a lake of fire.
Yeah, no, very true.
Yeah.
She might be that.
Yeah, true. While thinking Cybercat, you have to give 200 bits to get the alarm. Apologies. That's just how it works. I'd say I don't make the rules, but I literally did make that rule. But I don't know how to set it otherwise.
Really?
Oh,
Really, man? Where is Japan's Bushido? Never permit intrusion. Attack them. Never afraid. That is politics.
you realize the revival of the British economy?
Not true. Britain was on its fucking knees after Thatcherism. It's still on its knees because of Thatcherism. What are you talking about? You revived the British economy. You know there were like 2 major recessions during her time in power, yeah?
It wasn't the most economically prosperous era of British history.
No one's looking back at the 80s other than like cunts with mobile phones in the 80s going, that was brilliant.
It was pretty much the same as it is now, right? In that, so all the steel workers were out of a fucking job. The mines were shut down. The unions were crushed.
Yep.
But the rich were doing fairly well, right? Just the same as right now, where, you know, what is it, like luxury goods like champagne are experiencing a fucking boom.
Yeah.
But everybody's struggling to heat their fucking homes.
Well, did you see I think it's the greatest piece of not well. It's not even as. It's worse than let them eat cake, which, by the way, didn't even happen. But regardless, did you see former Conservative MP? Fuck's sake, Anne Widdecombe. Going on about, she was asked what about if people can't afford cheese sandwiches, and she said, well, if they can't afford it, they shouldn't have cheese sandwiches.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm pretty sure she also... No, it wasn't Anne Widdecombe. It was the other one that kind of looks like Anne Widdecombe, the healthcare secretary, Theresa Coffey.
Yes.
Was talking about how we should grow turnips.
Yeah. Theresa Coffey, or as my
Yeah.
chat caller, Winston Churchill cosplay. Which is
Did you see her
harsh.
during the coronation?
No, what was she doing?
Oh my god, she was wearing like
Oh,
everybody else
yes!
was, like dressed up to the nines.
Yeah.
And she's walking around looking like Bob from the pub in a Union Jack scarf and shit.
Yeah, she looked like she went through like
terrible.
a gammon charity shop and just picked out like random bits of clothing. Yeah, she looked
It was
appalling.
it was like a Millwall football fan.
Yeah, she looked like she'd just come from Spoons. Yeah.
A Millwall football fan attending a Nigel Farage rally. That's what she looked like.
Oh, talking to that cunt, already admitted that Brexit was a mistake. Thanks, mate. A few
Yeah,
years
mate.
too late, eh? Anyway,
we're going off.
we're going to have a little bit off time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, because remarkably, we're doing a more accurate depiction of what Margaret Thatcher might have talked about than he is doing pretending to actually be her.
Theresa Coffey's fashion sense. Do you think that would have been properly on her mind? You know,
I think she would have if she'd been around. Yeah, she was.
Okay.
She was big on imagery. Like, do you remember the thing with the tail of the BA plane? Because they took the Union Jack off it, and she tried to cover it up. She was about aesthetics. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I couldn't understand the EU system. Now EU is destroying.
I just want to point out the historical inaccuracy of this. This is not even to comment on Margaret Thatcher's political opinions on this particular occasion. Margaret Thatcher...
She was pro-EU.
She was very pro-EU.
very pro-EU.
She campaigned for the UK to join the EU in the referendum in 1977, 78, whenever the fuck it was. And remained pro-EU, even in the face of a growingly Eurosceptic Conservative Party up until her last days. So even this bit he's just wrong. He's just playing to a right-wing audience for today.
Yeah, today's right-wing audience, right? The Brexit crew. Yeah.
I've heard that. I made a prediction.
Also, he knows a mark when he sees one, clearly, as a grifter. And he knows that the kind of Brexit people are there to be taken advantage of. If you can lie to them about cheaper food after Brexit, you can get them to give you a tenner for salvation.
I mean, when we voted for Brexit, sure. Like, there were some people who got caught up in it who just didn't know what the fuck was going on. But there are a lot of people who are still around now who are still absolutely fundamentally convinced that Brexit was the best thing for the country, even as they struggle to find food and electricity.
Get some help.
Yeah, I should point out, I wasn't suggesting that all 17 million people who voted for Brexit are like susceptible to joining cults or whatever. I just meant within that community, especially the hard right people who he's sort of, would appeal to. There's a fair few. Yeah.
I think everybody's susceptible to joining cults, but not uniquely susceptible.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Susceptible's not the right word. Likely, let's say.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. What's the important information, Nick? Why have you sent me that? Oh, you got a new cat. Amazing. I'll show that later. It's not really applicable now, but thank you. Also, we're close to a hype train. And if there's anything I've learned from Mr. Okawa, it's a good mark when I see one. You should hit the follow button and subscribe for happiness and salvation.
About the future of the EU.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the problem in Deutschland, and another problem is the French. I think.
Deutschland.
Churchill was great, but
Yeah, Deutschland.
Instead of Germany, referring to in the German.
Yeah, I don't know that did Thatcher ever refer to them as Deutschland? I mean, presumably not, because when she was Prime Minister, it was East Deutschland and West Deutschland. Yeah.
In another meeting, he did bad things to the future of the world at that point. Antichrist, there was two Antichrists. One is Hitler and the other one is Stalin. So, very confusing.
Tell me
What
the
is
name
that?
Name of your guardian spirit?
Saint Michael.
Saint Michael.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Saint Michael, the Archangel,
Dude,
crazy.
that was some of the hammiest acting I've ever seen, my friend. St. Michael! Ah,
My Lord,
and scene!
sugoi na, Saint Michael.
Well, I wasn't going to mention it, but his pronunciation of Hitler was very Japanese and adorable, actually. Hitler. Yeah,
Hitler.
lovely.
He guided me.
When you are in office?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ronald Reagan and
victory is ours.
Margaret Thatcher both are guided by Saint Michael.
could you tell me the name when you were in Germany?
Bismarck.
Oh! Margaret Thatcher.
Wait. Margaret Thatcher is the reincarnation of Bismarck.
The reincarnation of Otto von Bismarck, yeah. I don't know what's weird about that.
That makes sense.
There's nothing weird and historically just ridiculous about that scenario at all. It's fine.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher.
Fight!
Yeah,
Just fight!
we fight.
Japan should fight!
Japan should fight. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Musical note 10.
Yeah.
M on. Turn,
There we are.
M on, turn
Sarah's
on
gonna be
those
about
bad
10 minutes
dongs
late.
when all hope
Okay.
is gone. Why don't you tune
yeah.
in and turn them
So-
on musical notes?
I think it's important to realize that the people in the audience who believe in Okawa believe that he is the latest reincarnation of an alien deity that became multiple gods. So as ridiculous as their credulity to him embodying the spirit of Margaret Thatcher might seem, it's really only a small step in comparison to what they already believe. Right?
Well, exactly, and of course, it's the point I mentioned last week with the woman whose name I've totally forgotten, who they always claim to be the great people, or they always want to contact the great people, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the reincarnation of a French peasant from the 13th century. He's the reincarnation of the Buddha and Thor, or whatever, like, or Odin, whatever. It's that kind of grandiosity, which sort of, I think, mirrors an inward superiority complex.
Yeah. It's also kind of weird that it took him until he was
Ladies
like
and gentlemen,
late 20s, 30 years old,
Victory
I
is
think,
ours.
before he even realized any of this.
Yeah, because he'd previously been working on Wall Street, lest we forget.
Yeah, and before that, he really wanted to be like a scholar, or like a religious scholar or whatever. But he was just shit. He was just shit at it.
Yeah.
He tried to get into Tokyo University, failed. Eventually managed to get into Tokyo University, and took a politics course in the end, I think. And then ended up just going to work, like you say, for Wall Street, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Or Japanese Wall Street, basically.
What's Japanese Wall Street called? You should know this.
I don't know. He worked for a company. He worked for a Japanese company. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember what they did. I don't think it was anything particularly interesting. He became like regional manager or something, but he kept his like religious activities, because he started his religious activities around that time. He said that he'd received some kind of revelation from the spirit of Nichiren Shonin, who's a famous Buddhist philosopher, basically the founder of Nichiren Sho, school of Buddhist thought. and so he received that revelation, and then all of a sudden he's channeling all these different ghosts, and he manages to find a couple of followers who are happy to like give interviews and talk about how great he is on his behalf. Turns out later those followers are his father and brother, by the way,
which is convenient.
But they don't disclose that in the beginning. But
Okay.
yeah. So that's it takes you a while to realize, and you were never a French peasant. You were always all these famous
Yeah,
people.
indeed. Although, if you're new here, and there are some new people who've been dragged in, weebs, let's be honest, a lot of weebs, you can hit the follow button.
Don't hate on the weebs.
I'm not hating on them. I'm
We're
pointing
too
them out.
powerful for you.
I'm not hating on them. I'm just pointing them out, okay? As long as everyone knows where they stand, it's all good. Yes, don't forget to hit the follow button. It's free, and it gives me a little serotonin boost. So, do that. Anyway, yeah, I've just gone on the Happy Science thing. They're still posting like mad on their YouTube. And they're obsessed at the moment, it seems, with AI. God will not approve of AI-controlled future. AI will never surpass the wisdom of God. I don't think it's supposed to. I don't think that's the point, is it?
Fair enough. Yeah, they do have a lot of YouTube channels. Like, they have Happy Science Australia seems to be probably their most successful one.
Is it?
Like the Just Happy Science one seems to only get like tens of views on their videos, but the Australia one seems to get several thousand, which is
well, let's have a look.
Maybe indicates a higher Happy Science presence in Australia.
Well, yeah. Which is ironic, because aren't there a lot of Chinese people? I don't know. Presumably there are probably some Japanese people too, I imagine. Yeah.
Probably people from all over the place in Australia.
I wonder who started taking people from other places and putting them in Australia. I can't think. Anyway, how to protect you from evil spirits, health and happiness. See, it all seems rather benign, but like it's fucking crazy under the surface.
It's like firstly, it's just so they follow this this idea called the fourfold path, right? Which is that you must love without wanting anything back. It's like selfless love, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is like not super unobjectionable. Super objectionable, right?
Yeah.
That sounds quite nice. Don't expect things back for your love. You got to be inquisitive and willing to learn, I guess, about the secrets of the universe and so on. Trying to remember what the other two are. I'm gonna bring them up.
I don't know.
But
either way, we have a guest.
Oh, we have a guest.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hello there, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, I'm awake. What's up?
Hey.
How are you? Why don't you tell everyone about you?
I'm awake. What's up? No. Shit. My name is Sarah Hightower, and I don't do anything of note, and I'm just here to hang out and make friends.
Oh.
I mean, that's bullshit. You've been on.
That is bullshit. I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to win. No, I know cult things, and I talk about cult things, and I don't know, I'm probably like severely mentally ill.
Yeah, reasonable.
That's where we're
I think pretty much everybody who spends far too much time looking into cults probably is severely mentally ill, frankly.
Yeah.
I haven't met a single one that was normal.
Well, I'm a streamer, so I'm the picture of perfect mental health. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. Yes. So, I'll hand over to Viv, who will ask questions of our guest. Then, basically.
Yeah, I think I was just gonna start like moving towards the feud with Orm stuff, which is something that I think you would know like way more about than I would. So, Om Shinrikyo, probably the most famous cult in Japan because they committed the sarin subway attack, which a lot of our audience will already know. but so Ryuho Okawa got into a bit of a feud with Shoko Asahara because he called him a frog, I believe, in 1994.
There's something like that.
Yeah. Do you know anything about that, Sarah?
I know that had Okawa on the list for they're just gonna use like the biological weapons. They were gonna try to assassinate Okawa and Daisaku Ikeda from Saka Gakkai. So those are the two big ones that Asahara had it out for.
Saka Gakkai is like the other like really huge Japanese cult, and they've got far too many people in government, frankly. They put VX nerve agent in his car's his car's AC, right? And that assassination attempt failed, I think. Obviously failed because he didn't die in '95. I think February '95 they put VX nerve agent in his car's AC. So that conflict started because he was so Ryuho Okawa called Shoko Asahara, the leader of Aum Shinrikyo, called him a frog because of his aquatic. What I read was his aquatic meditation practices or something.
The underwater kumbhaka.
What is the underwater kumbhaka?
Basically, it's goofy as shit, especially when Ohm did it, but it looks like they're having a breath holding contest underwater. Basically, the believer would like submerge themselves in water, get into like a lotus position, get into a meditation position, and hold their breath until, they died, almost. It's like underground samadhi. Like, the point, I'm not joking about death, just like with the underground samadhi, the point is to get your vitals down to pretty much zero because that's spiritual practice. Question mark.
And the underground samadhi is?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Underground samadhi. Yeah, no, the underground samadhi. Samadhi is a spiritual practice, but when Om did it, underground samadhi was when you climbed into a oxygen-deprived Saddam Hussein spider hole.
Right.
And blindfolded yourself and wore like the equivalent of like one of those Apple watches that monitors like your fucking heart rate. And you just stayed in there and meditated really, really hard to try to get your vitals down to zero. It's people do that on those weird, like really weird meditation retreats, like Jack from Twitter.
Right.
Like he does that same shit. It's just like it's not in a Saddam Hussein spidey hole, but like they'll go deep down and do like deep meditation. It's dumb as shit.
So he called him a frog for meditating underwater, and Shoko Asahara then got really pissed with him and wrote a book about how much Ryuho Okawa sucks, basically, and how dumb he is and how much he doesn't know anything about religion at all. And Shoko Asahara, whatever else you can say about him, Shoko Asahara did know his shit when it came to Buddhism and so on. Like, he did some really weird shit, but he was very well read. Whereas, as we just covered, like Ryuho basically failed his Tokyo University entrance exam, so he was not as well versed. And then they were challenged to go on TV and debate, and Okawa basically said he didn't want to do it. And that rivalry continued right up until Shoko Asahara ended up being imprisoned, but probably culminated with the VX nerve agent attack on Okawa. So have you had the pleasure of I said the pleasure. Have you had the opportunity to speak to any previous Happy Science members or anything like that?
Yeah, some of my friends are former Happy Science members. They roll with Yoshiro Fujikura, the anti-cult journalist over in Japan who's like being sued by Happy Science. Like, he's probably like the top expert on Happy Science, like in the entire world. But yeah, no, it's I know a former member. They joined with their spouse back in the day. Like back then, new religions were like the new hotness. And basically, it came down like they had to choose, like, well, are we going to go with Happy Science or are we going to go with, like, Om Shinrikyo? And they went with Happy Science instead of Om. And they were like, it's the worst decision I ever made and it ruined my life. But, like, it could have been a bit worse.
It could have been a little bit worse. Yeah.
Just slightly, yeah. Like,
So,
it's...
when you say ruined their life, like, what are the practices or requirements of like a member that makes their life so difficult?
Well, I mean, like, they don't force you to live there and, like, close you totally off from society like Om Shinrikyo, but it is still, like, an anti-social group. And, like, spiritually, like, you have to be completely loyal to Ryuho Okawa, and you buy into all that dipshit Alcantara stuff. And you buy into all of the really scary, hateful things that Happy Science preaches. So it's like you're constantly afraid of, like, falling into hell and, like, being tortured in the various realms of hell forever if you look at a picture of Ryuho Okawa the wrong way, basically. But, like, it's like with any cult, like, it fucking wrecks your brain, and then you pass that on to your kids because you bring your family into the cult as well.
Mm.
And it's like, the thing is, like I said, like, you don't have to, like, donate everything you own to the cult and, like, completely remove yourself from society, but it does still isolate you from the rest of society because, like, you're still an openly devout cult member.
Yeah,
Even
you
your
still
kids are,
believe
like,
some...
and, like, even if you're still out there participating in society, technically, you're still, like, at least, like, 1 degree, like, emotionally and psychologically, like, removed, like, socially, like, removed from society itself. So, like, Happy Science members, like, they'll have to give, like, a lot of, like, what they make to the cult, and they'll have to, like, maybe pay to send their kids to something like Happy Science University. And they have to buy all sorts of super fucking price gouged expensive trinkets. And we're talking, like, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars for collected sermon volumes. They have to go buy, like, just, you know how Ryuho Okawa used to, like, put out a new book every other week?
Yeah,
Like,
he wrote thousands.
Yeah, he claims
Yeah.
he claims to have broken the world record for the most books written by one person in 1 year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, they would just they'd record his sermons, his lectures, and his, like, spiritual messages bullshit, and then, like, they would put those out in trade paperback. So, like, they were gaining, like, the numbers, like, that way, but, like, believers, like, they would have to go buy those whenever they came out, or buy multiple copies to go proselytize and give them to other people to try to bring them in.
And you
So
mentioned
that put a massive financial strain. Sorry, what were you saying?
You mentioned the universities as well. That was one thing that we didn't touch on because, like, it kind of Happy Science kind of starts trying to present itself as this academic pursuit, right? And it does, like, the first, it's like the first lodge is like the Institute for Happiness Research that's like supposed to, it's supposed to be an academic thing. But you talked about like kids being sent to Happy Science schools, and I know there were some articles about like abuse that went on there. People being forced to like sit in a room and watch Ryuho Okawa sermons for weeks and stuff like that. Did you hear anything about those?
Well, I mean, like, it's like a can I say something a little controversial? Just something a little very bold and brave here.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of the time, a private religious school is gonna be abusive as shit. Like,
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that to British people? I think British people might. I think British people might know where I'm coming from. I don't know.
We're probably even more receptive to that than a lot of Americans, frankly. But
yeah.
don't worry. Controversial
so-
controversial opinions are fine as long as they don't break the Twitch TOS. No
Yeah.
advocating for acts of terror or violence or whatever. Not that I thought that you would, but you know.
No, not
But,
even like ironically.
But yeah, otherwise you can feel free to express any opinion you want. Like I want
But yeah.
to hear what you think.
Yeah, no, it's like, I mean, shit, it happens here in America too, and especially ones that are associated with like the really, really extreme, cultic sect of Southern Baptist bullshit, you might say. I don't I don't want to talk about child abuse too much because that shit bums me out and it's very unpleasant. But yeah, no. If you're sending your kid to a private fundamentalist school, some abuse is going to happen at some point. It's pretty much guaranteed. Happy science shit was like it's no different, especially because like you have to have like absolute loyalty. Like Okawa comes first. It's more about worshiping God than it is getting any sort of actual education. So you send your kids to a cult school, yeah. But as far as like actual abuses, yeah, I mean like the bullying I know was really bad.
And by God they mean Okawa pretty much, right? Like he says
Okawa is
yeah. Because he says that oh shoot. Because fuck, I don't know how to put this in. Whatever. Supposedly, El Cantare says that he represents the true God, but like, there's no real. That's all I've managed to find about like the nature of any kind of true God. Like all the focus is on El Cantare, basically.
Yeah. It's Ryuho Okawa positioned himself as God, and not just like a happy science pope that could like connect you, like forge your call onto God or whatever. Like no, they had to worship that man. Like, have you seen all the statues and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like no, he was El Cantare, and then El Cantare wasn't like Jesus Christ, but he was still like God.
Yeah, he was like the person Jesus Christ called Father. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So.
Which, yeah, basically God, all of the gods. Okay. So, did you have anything that you particularly wanted to mention about Happy Science? I know you were mentioning like the intergenerational nature of like some of these more long-running cults, and I know that's one of your passions is like second generation cult members and stuff. Is there anything you'd like to say on that?
Okay. No, because if I speak, TOS will ban me.
Is there anything you can say that isn't TOS? It's super fucked how kids end up in these kinds of situations, right? But like,
yeah,
I don't feel that I can have a huge amount of animosity towards the parents. Like the animosity I generally have is towards those religious leaders who are sort of manipulating the cult for their own benefit.
Yeah, but it's like, this is what cults do. Like, they break families, they break people, and they break people who go on to then, like, continue the cycle and break other people. It's not good. Like, it makes me very, very angry, like, to the point that, like, I want to, like, fucking smash shit.
Yeah.
Because it sort of ruined my life, even though I never believed in the shit my dad bought into. But like, it'll still ruin a child very early on.
What was your dad into? You don't have to want to, but
it was really bad. It wasn't just like a kooky cult. It was actually some violent, not good stuff.
So like right wing shit, if I remember right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I won't pry too deeply on that then.
Yeah, it was right wing stuff with a heavy dose of like apocalyptic end of the world. Our people will be the survivors because our people were chosen by God because we're the only real humans, and like it's that kind of very gross racist bullshit.
Yeah. But Happy Science doesn't seem to have that same degree of apocalyptic bent that I can find.
No, I mean, not like immediate like end of the world stuff. I mean, they started going that way after 2009, but like not as bad as or other straight up apocalyptic, like, you know. But they started like leaning heavy into like the doomerism, and they started basically, you know how people who are addicted to Twitter will just sit around and doom scroll and share every bad news thing.
Yeah.
And talk about how bad it is and how things are just like getting worse.
Yeah.
Like that is the direction Happy Science went into.
Starting to feel attacked,
really heavy.
Yeah.
I was about to say, are you doing an advert for my Twitter feed now? What's going on here?
No, I'm scrolling Twitter right now. No, it's not. But like that after 2009, that's the direction Happy Science started going into. That's when they formed, like, you probably went into it, the Happiness Realization Party and stuff.
Right. So the formation of the political party was like the start of a borderline apocalyptic arc, or at least a doomer arc for Happy.
Yeah.
What happened in 2009 to make them form the political party and start this?
I
like,
wish I knew
darker arc?
specifically.
Yeah, you don't know.
I do. Yeah, I mean, not specifically, no. I mean, part of me wants to say, like, maybe it had something to do with, like, the Beijing Olympics, but I don't know. Like, that dude just, like, went off the deep end, and he was already pretty gone, but, I mean, but he was always, like, fascist. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, footage of, like, those 1991 rallies when he started holding the El Cantare Festival.
No, I haven't. What happened?
Oh, no, dude. No, I'm just saying, like, starting around, like, the 90s, when the numbers started, like, really booming and stuff, like, and he started having, mandatory, like, El Cantare Festival, the El Cantare Ryuho Okawa Birthday Festival and shit like that. It was just, like, it was some triumph of the will shit. We're talking, like, big-ass banners, like, huge-ass, just blown-out, like, fucking portraits of his face. Believers, like, mandatory, like, you had to cheer. Like, you had to stand and cheer. And, like, you really had to put your heart into it. It was some really fascist bullshit. And then, like, Ryuho Okawa's always been very authoritarian.
Yeah.
And he was up until the day he died. You don't become a cult leader without, you know, having the authoritarian bone in your body, but...
Were they like the Nuremberg rallies type thing?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It was very, very Nuremberg vibe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because of course we talked a little bit about how Ryuho Okawa's politics are very like right-wing Japanese nationalist, but obviously you have a lot more knowledge on what that actually means. We talked a bit about the denial of the Nanking massacre and comfort women and so on, and how his wife wanted to nuke China as well. As like that was one of her policies from the Happy Realization Party, apparently.
Preventative, a war with China because like they're trying to take the Senkaku Islands or something, and yeah, it's not good. But I mean, like Japanese nationalism, like Japanese right-wing bullshit. It's like the foundation of it is, it's just racism against like Koreans and Chinese people.
As in, like, just a continuation of the whole imperialist sentiment, like they're the Japanese are like the chosen people, the children of the sun god and shit, and everybody else is barbarians. Yeah. And
messy. Like there's, and it's like, I mean, you know how racism works. So it's like here in the States and there in the UK, you have a bunch of fucking racist assholes to start talking about invaders and shit like that. It's population, demographics, and you know all that really great shit.
They're in government now here, so yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying in the UK at the moment, honestly. Not gonna lie. Here too. Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd find myself cheering for somebody like Joe Biden, but I do hope he wins the next election.
Shitlib.
The other options.
Shitlib alert.
The other options are not good, are they? DeSantis and Trump. No, thank you. Yeah.
No, they're gonna try to put like a fucking anti-vaxxer Kennedy on the Democratic ticket, and I'm over here like, no, why we don't have to do this. And then they're like, okay, well, what about the self-help grifter? What about the orb lady who made people write apology letters to the AIDS virus that was killing them in the 80s? And I'm like, no, not her either. Let's just it's in front of sleeping Joe Biden or whatever, and like get this shit locked in for another 5 years.
Well, I think it's such a. I mean, this is nothing to do with the cult at all, but. It's such a sign of how bad American politics is that an 80-plus-year-old dude who, frankly, is a bit shit is the best option. It's not good. Again, like I say, if you want more doom scrolling, go over to my Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel attacked by that whole line. If you've got a Twitter addiction, you're just constantly tweeting out how bad things are getting, and they're only getting worse. It's like
we all do it.
We do all do it. Are we addicted to Twitter, or are things actually getting worse? Like, our
Well, ironically, Twitter's getting worse, so it may seem like the rest of the world is also getting worse.
Twitter is definitely getting worse. Did you see we're way off topic now, but fuck it, who cares? Did you see Elon Musk's whole thing about George Soros?
Yeah, I covered that on stream. I presume you weren't asking me, but I'm going to answer anyway.
What about you, Ara? Ara, Ara.
I hate it. I hate it. I don't like it. They let that man buy the good website. I mean, it was always a very bad website that poisons your brain. It makes it where like you don't go outside. But
yeah, if someone could give me a Blue Sky account or whatever it's fucking called, I will leave Twitter happily. Because that is a shit.
Get everybody over there.
I am not. No, I don't. I'm not connected enough to get an account yet. So.
Blue Sky is fun, but then like here recently, people have started to screen capping every bad thing happening over on Twitter to bitch about it over on Blue Sky. So then we get stuck in the same fucking discourse spirals where everybody's screaming at each other.
True, but
this it's just like when Destiny got banned from Twitch.
You got him banned.
Anyway.
Yeah. True. What was I going to say? Oh shit, I did have something to say. I can't fucking remember now. Doesn't matter. Moving on.
Well, I'm sure it was super fucking exciting and insightful.
Eat my dick. What?
So happy science still exists today. What is like, even though their leader's dead, do you know anything about what's happened to the cult and its leadership and organization since Okawa died? The only thing I know that changed is they've started selling grave plots near Okawa's tomb for, was it 100? It's like 15 million yen or something, like $150,000 or something, if you want to be buried next to him. And two, like what their general place is in like Japanese politics, because I think we'll probably move to American politics in a second, because I want to talk about Jericho Aiba at some point. But
okay, so Okawa died, and they sent out an email that says that the leader is physically dead. They sent out an internal email, so they told the members that he had physically departed, but the believers are praying for resurrection. But the thing is, the Happy Science immediately started like price gouging, like getting money from members. They were like, you got to pay, I think it was like 30,000 yen, so somewhere around between like, I think it's like $2,000 and $3,000 to participate in the resurrection prayer bullshit. It's like the Alcantara resurrection ritual. So they immediately secured the bag from the people that they've been fucking financially and like emotionally exploiting for decades now. And I think people are still praying for resurrection. There was something kind of like a succession drama, but that's not really important. None of his, I think Okawa has, I think, like 5 biological children. And it's like, none of them are going to get it. He remarried, and it looks like his wife at the time, his widow, was primed to sort of take over. But as of right now, they've named one of the former Happiness Realization Party members as like an interim director of the religious organization, religious corporation. So it's all business.
It's all business.
Like, right. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like decimated. But like, the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, they always like overinflate the figures when they talk about how many members they have.
Yeah. And
as far as like new members go, they would go and they would get like some advertising towers every now and then. Like they'd recruit like a sort of famous person, like the Kamen Rider chick, Fumika Shimizu. Like they'd bring on people like that every once in a while. But like the proselytization, like getting new members wasn't really like working out for them. So their numbers were kind of dwindling. Like as far as like new signups, is just kids and family members getting dragged into it to like keep the generational cycle going. So right now, like that's where we're at.
So it's the dregs and the generational cycle. That's what you're. That's sort of where the party's at the moment. Then, like, or where the cult's at the moment is just like people who've been born into it, and people who've been members for like decades. They're not really getting a huge amount of recruitment. I mean, that's good.
Okawa's a joke.
Right?
Like, Okawa's a joke, and like you asked where they're at, like politically, the Happiness Realization Party's always been a joke. Nobody takes that shit seriously.
I think Kev earlier said they had some, what was it, 27 councillors or something across Japan?
21.
21, my bad. Yeah, which isn't a lot, but like, is that?
Well, every new political party has to start somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, but 2009, so it's like, what, like 14 years old? Like, it's not even old enough to drink yet, man.
But like, so how do those people even get elected? Are there any areas in Japan that are like heavily populated by happy science people, or is it just like these people presented themselves as a little bit more normal than they were?
I think it's less an issue of like heavily populated by happy science members, and it's like more of an issue of like maybe not very populated at all.
Right. Okay. So just like,
but yeah, I mean, shit. Like, you can mobilize any like group of like cultic jackasses to go like to a ballot box or say like, "Hey, I voted for this asshole." It's happening here with school boards and like local elections.
Yeah, it really, really is. Speaking about that sort of crossover, I did want to touch on J. Iaba, however you fucking say that, Jericho Iaba. He was like formerly in a leadership position in Happy Science, right? And then claims to be basically separate from it now. Wasn't he the leader of their political party for a short while?
Yeah, he rolled with the Happiness Realization Party.
Yeah, and now he frequently gives talks at American CPAC. Like pretty much every year. If you go on YouTube and just look J. Iaba, you will find his talk from pretty much every year for the last 10 years.
He's probably not even the craziest bastard at CPAC, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's quite possibly not. But the reason I mention him is because there does seem to be like a significant crossover between the American far right and Japanese cults, right? In that both the Moonies and J. Iaba have received like support, like almost directly from Trump, right? In the case of the Moonies, directly from Trump. And J. Iaba set up the Japanese CPAC, which is basically just meant to be an analogous to the American CPAC. How popular is the Japanese CPAC?
I mean, it's popular enough. Like, you can funnel in like some LDP people to come hobnob with like fucking Newt Gingrich and Mike Pence or whatever.
What do they? So Mike Pence and Newt Gingrich attend Japanese CPAC?
I need to actually go check, but like, yeah, they bring in like high-profile American like right-wing politicians. It's not like a joke. Like, they forge like real connections, and they bring them over. But it's also like what unification does. Like, if you throw enough money at them, like JCPAC and CPAC, like they're bros. You can get the people over there too.
What is it about the Japanese cultosphere, which I think it's basically just the hate of China more than anything else that like really helps bind them. But like, what do you think it is that like makes them so compatible? Or is it just they're happy to give money to each other so that works? It's just a business relationship.
No, yeah, I mean, like, they find common ground in the things that they hate. It's all about like hatred.
Like so hatred of the Chinese and
hatred, fear, and distrust of the Chinese, gay people, LGBT.
Yeah.
Like, especially that's another big one. Like, especially now. But yeah, I mean, it's always been like that. But yeah, a hatred of religious minorities, racial minorities, just fucking vulnerable, disenfranchised people, period. It's all just a bunch of like William S. Buckley conservative ass bullshit.
And is that so? The homophobia shit. I know. I noticed. I saw some stuff about Happy Science saying that like Freddie Mercury is burning in hell. But like other than that, like, are there like what has Okawa said about the LGBT community?
I mean, in the months before he died, one of the official Happy Science magazines, this is their propaganda magazine called The Liberty, but they put out an issue of The Liberty, and it was like, here are the rules of hell. It's like one of the last books, actually, they published before Okawa died, was called The Laws of Hell. But anyway, the book prominently features the rules of hell, and it says that like gay people are basically going to go to hell and be boiled alive in one of the realms of hell forever until their soul goes back and like gets reincarnated or some shit, just for being gay or, you know, not straight enough.
Damn.
And it's complete with the fucking illustration that kind of looks like it came from like a D&D monster manual.
Oh, it's the one, the red Oni, right? The red Oni with the big club. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, and they're drawing that from like, you know, like Buddhist lore.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really, really, really gross shit.
Also,
It is.
Well, I'm just saying, if Freddie Mercury's there, I know where I want to go.
I don't know if I'd want to join him boiling forever. That sounds pretty rough.
Well, it's good. It's good that they're just lying and making shit up. Then I guess.
Reasonable. It's not as good as Christian hell. Was it the Apocalypse of Thomas? Is it where the punishment for homosexuality is being pushed into a pit of other gays by angels? Angels like just push you into a pit of other gay people, and you're all like naked and writhing and God.
I called that Thursday.
Yeah, what's that? Sounds fucking hot. Let's go.
I assume the idea is. I assume the idea is you're eventually sort of like crushed and suffocated under all these other like naked people, but like I don't know.
That sounds terrible. You have to like tell me how to get there so I can go laugh at it.
It's very, very step on me mummy energy. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I've got a choking fetish anyway. Maybe that's the way I want to go.
Jesus fuck. So yeah, so the I think we've covered like so much already. Is there anything else you want to say on the subject of Happy Science, Sarah? And then maybe we'll probably anything inside TOS that you want to say about Happy Science. You can say fuck Ryuho, I'm glad he's burning in hell. You can say
rest in piss. Did you guys talk about like the Reagan? Not Ronald Reagan. Like fuck that guy too. Like rest in piss, Ronald Reagan too.
That's a good point. We barely. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, like the spirit sesh.
Yeah, I was going to say we barely touched on any of the other spirit sessions. I think I mentioned in passing that like he'd been Martin Luther King, he's been Nelson Mandela, but you wanted to talk about the Reagan spirit sesh.
Well, I mean, no, Reagan, like, that's the Japanese term, Reagan. It's the
right, okay.
Reagan, or it's like, on Japanese internet, they call it Itako, which is...
shit,
like
that's why that dude in Mob Psycho is called Reagan.
Uh-huh.
And that other...
Okay. And that, the little blobby spirit thing, you know, like the episode about the cult mind control?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, heavily inspired by Okawa. But yeah, no. But yeah, no, great. It's Reagan. But
that was one of the things I noticed when I started learning Japanese is that every Japanese character in anime, or like nearly all of them, apart from like some of the older seinen where they try and give them proper names, but like most characters are literally just like what they are in Japanese. Mieruko, I love that anime. Mieruko. She's just like girl who sees Mieruko, and I was like, okay.
Well, on the point of anime, over the course of this conversation, we're watching now the anime, The Laws of Eternity, from
oh boy,
Spirits from the Happy Science people.
Oh,
Which
you
is-
got that playing in the background.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. It's quite racist.
It's super fucking racist.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The thing is, they keep cranking those out, and what they do is they'll make their members, because I talked about this kind of earlier, buying like the books and stuff to give to other people. They'll make their members go out like on the street and to like try to sell tickets to go see these movies. They mobilize the members, and they also like some members like have to buy multiple tickets, and if they can't like sell these tickets, they have to just give them to people to get asses in seats. And Happy Science keeps cranking out movies.
Yeah, they
But,
do
like, when it
all
comes-
kinds of
when it
shit,
comes to
not
the
just
anime
anime.
ones-
Yeah.
Yeah, but the anime ones always like top the box office, and they make sure that happens because they want the news coverage first of all, and they want to get like the otaku people in, especially like the Japanese otaku who are also like netoyo. They're kind of hoping they can like get the feelies out, like, hey, come check out this tone demo bullshit. But also, we hate the right people, so maybe you'll stick around a little longer and pick up what we're putting down. But they
Yeah,
also do it because they want people like Anime News Network to fucking talk about Happy Science.
yeah, and
favorably.
they work with actually really decent anime studios as well. Like, I think the one you're watching is literally a Toho animation,
Mhm.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which won't mean anything to Kevin because he's not a massive weeb.
No, I don't know what that.
Okay.
You might as well have just made up a word there. I don't know what that was.
But Toho animation studios are like pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know what-
Toho Animation and like Toei Animation. So like they're like what?
Sorry, Toho or Tohei? I forget.
No, it's Toho, but I'm just saying like when you think
Hmm.
about like big animation studios like over here in the West, we don't have many like doing traditional like 2D animation anymore. But I don't know, like if Toei's like fucking DreamWorks, then like Toho would be like Illumination or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like Toho did Akira. Toho did shit. They did a whole bunch of Studio Ghibli shit. If you're into if you got into anime recently, they do Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm not a big fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, but I know a lot of people are.
They did Sailor Moon.
Mushoku
Toei did
Tensei.
Sailor Moon.
That's one of your faves, isn't it, Sarah? You like Mushoku Tensei?
No.
No? Okay, I'll shut up then.
Sorry.
What's your favorite anime, Sarah?
School Days.
School Days. What a fucking choice. Jesus Christ. Holy
It's actually like I'm in my early 30s and I'm depressed as shit. Like it's actually Evangelion because I guess I'm a normie now, but I do unironically love School Days. It's like a John Waters fever dream. Like I guarantee if you were to somehow get John Waters to watch like fucking School Days, he would love it.
Yeah, fair enough. I can recommend School Days for people who don't mind a bit of violence and gore, and also really love slice of life. And that's all I'm gonna say because like I don't want to give it all away to people who haven't seen it. But I watched that when I was going through a bit of a depressive episode myself actually, and I watched the whole thing. And the end of School Days. I'm glad the end of School Days happened because it was starting to drag on. It got a little bit repetitive, I think, in the middle. It's like, okay, the same thing's happening over and over again. But it just, the way it ends, I don't know. That was stuck in my head for a few weeks.
I agree. I thought it was repetitive. Yeah.
Shut up, Kevin. You should watch some anime. You should do it, buddy.
You should watch some Jesus. God damn it.
I watched too much Jesus. That's why my brain's so fucking broken and I have
Same.
to go watch anime.
Same. Except I just replaced it with junk food and sport.
Hey, each to their own. Do you
Right.
like wrestling?
No,
Oh, are we talking about wrestling?
I
haven't watched wrestling since the mid-90s.
I was gonna say me neither really, but I know Sarah fucking loves it, so I was wondering if you might have a connection there, Kev.
Oh,
It's Wednesday night.
no, basically. No.
Go on, Sarah, tell us about wrestling.
Fuck that. Like, am I talking to a bunch of British people right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, AEW is gonna sell out Wembley, so like, y'all should go check out AEW. AEW's, oh my god, what they show it on like actual like broadcast TV over there.
What is AEW?
All Elite Wrestling. It's okay. So when most people think about wrestling, they think about like WWF, WWE, because like that's the biggest company in the world, and they've like cornered like the market. Yeah,
That's
but
what I saw
okay.
on MTV when I was a kid. Yeah.
AEW is like the #2 promotion now, and it's like if WWE didn't suck and wasn't chock full of like racists and rapists.
Oh dear. Hey,
So like,
The Rock seems real nice. Dwayne Johnson, he seems chill. Is he not chill?
The Rock hasn't wrestled in like fucking forever.
I don't know. He came from there though. He seems nice.
See, I don't want to ask. Is the Undertaker a rapist? Like, I'm just gonna have to ask about the people I used to know.
No, but he's a racist. Can I say that? I'm gonna get sued. Okay. Maybe,
You're not gonna get sued. You're fine. He's a fucking racist. I'll say it.
Okay.
Fuck him.
He's pretty right wing.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure he's nice.
Well,
I'm sure he signed something with an 88 at the end because the
Well,
person he was signing the autograph to was born in 1988.
No, well, I wish he was fucking dead then. Fuck him.
Didn't
But
he
also
get his-
just like Undertaker's like overrated. Like that's the old shit. Like
Yeah, and that was the era I used to watch it in. Yeah.
Yeah, we're both old. We both saw it as kids, but we haven't seen anything as adults. So we remember Kane and the Undertaker
Fuck
and him getting choke slammed off.
D-Generation X. Woo!
yeah, that dude runs WWE now, kind of.
Yeah, Hunter Hearst
Triple H.
Helmsley. I remember him well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's prick.
Well, I know
And Shawn Michaels, also a prick.
Yeah. His brother.
You heard it here first. Check out All Elite Wrestling in London.
Seriously though, like they're having a fan fest and everything.
Well,
and
if it's sold out, how the fuck am I going to check it out?
It's not sold out yet, but I
okay.
think they've sold like close on like 70,000 fucking tickets.
I'm being told that Kane, the brother of the Undertaker, is a mayor in Tennessee. What?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
he's the mayor of Knoxville.
Oh, that's a
Willie
big
Jacobs
place.
is the
Yeah.
mayor, and he's a fucking asshole.
Oh, of course. Fuck me.
He's a far right asshole too.
Well,
Damn.
well, there you go.
All my childhood heroes.
Well, I know Mick Foley was pretty based, as far as I can
Oh,
recall.
he's still based.
Well,
He's still great. Mick Foley is still great. Like he's like the biggest sweetheart,
yeah.
and he's not fucking racist, and like he helps like he volunteers his time and shit for things like RAIN Network and like victims of coercive control, domestic violence, sexual assault, stuff like that. Like he's
Fuck
a
yeah.
chill dude.
Oh,
That's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So before we have to go, the seances. You wanted to talk about those. We didn't quite cover them. You had, yeah. What did you want to say about the Reagan, the seances?
I thought you were gonna get into the Thatcher one.
We watched the Thatcher one before you came on.
you did?
That was the plan. Yeah.
We can
Dennis-
I missed it.
we can watch again
Watch
if you
it
want.
again if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say. Like my favorite thing. That was my ringtone for like a year.
Really?
Ryuho Okawa is Margaret Thatcher.
I hadn't even thought of making it a ringtone. I'm totally gonna do that now. I need it as a. I should have it as my not a ringtone, but like messenger tone, right?
Have you seen did you watch the Trump one?
No, I had a lot of trouble finding links.
Hang on.
Many.
How the fuck is he doing a seance for someone who isn't dead yet?
Well, that was what I was
This
trying
is
to
right
explain
after
to you
she
earlier.
died.
Yeah,
Oh.
he speaks to their guardian spirit, right? Their ethereal self, which is like identical basically to their earthly self and would give you all the same answers. But crucially, that means he can talk to people who are still alive and also can say that he's not expressing his own opinions, or if there's something that isn't right or is like people go, oh, that person wouldn't have said that, and he's like, well, this is their true self, their ethereal spirit that said it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very useful tool for him.
See, let's not tell Donald Trump about that because he will definitely use that defense in court. It wasn't me that said it. It was my ethereal self. I can't be held responsible for this.
Donald Trump's ethereal guardian spirit just apparently said shit like New York cheesecake. So, like,
He's,
I swear to God, have you not?
I've seen.
Viv, have you not seen it?
I've seen clips of it, but I've never found the whole thing. If you have the whole thing, if you have a link,
It's on Nico. It's on. I think it's still up on Nico Nico.
okay. If you can find it on Nico,
Hold on
go for
one
it.
second.
My Japanese isn't good enough to navigate that site yet.
What? I don't even know what it is. What is it?
Oh, Nico Nico Doga is like a Japanese YouTube, except it's like Japanese YouTube.
It's like if Japanese YouTube went a little bit 4chan.
Hasn't YouTube gone a bit 4chan?
Yeah, but not as much as Nico Nico.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
it's good.
the one video that I pull up from there all the time is the Yatta Om Shinrikyo video, which when we cover Om Shinrikyo, I might invite you back, Sarah. But when we cover when we cover Om Shinrikyo, I'm definitely bringing that up, Kevin.
Okay.
It's just them doing the meditation, bouncing to the tune of Yatta Yatta, and it's fucking.
That reminds me. You were talking about like the Okawa Asahara beef, and he was calling like frog-like. Asahara's levitation scam.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the bouncing up and down meditation. Is the Daldry Siddha or frog hopping? So. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, hold on one second. Y'all added me to that Twitter group chat.
Yes.
All right, hold on one second. It's going through. There you go. Go check it. I just sent the link.
Okie doke. Have to pull that up off screen in order to hide Viv's incredibly racist comments in that group. I don't want to go into it, Viv.
Excuse me.
It's outrageous. Okay.
I just hate the French. I'm sorry.
Well, you're British. That's like that. If you don't hate the French, you have your passport taken off you, and rightly so.
I'm a good patriot. I hate the French.
Yes.
We have a line in our national anthem about harrying the French, don't we? Like fucking up the Scottish and beating down the French or something.
Hang on.
I can't remember.
I
don't know the
How do I pause this? Where the fuck is the pause button on this?
Somebody in the chat can find that. Can find the line.
Okay.
About fucking up the Scots.
Hang on. Where is the pause button on this website? Because it'll play, but I can't make it stop playing.
Let me go to the thing. I'm pretty sure they usually just have a. Oh no, you've got the fucking straight up.
How do I make it stop?
Did I fuck it up?
You can usually just click on it.
Yeah, I can't. I definitely can't.
Oh, because I just click the middle of the screen and it'll.
Yeah, click the middle of the screen, and you'll see a little pause button come up. You can click the pause button and then click back, and it will take you back to the beginning of the video.
Okay, I'll try again, but hang on.
I mean, worst comes.
Oh,
to
there
worst.
we go. Fuck me. Okay, well that was much more of a mess than it needed to be. Hang on.
Yeah, it's only.
Well,
15 minutes.
you got to turn the comments off as well. That's like top right. There's a little message thing.
Yeah, got it.
Otherwise, you get all the comments that people have written, like
Okay.
scrolling across the screen.
Okay, Viv, I got this. It's all good.
I'm sorry, you couldn't find the fucking pause button. I'm allowed to try and
Eat
tell
my
you the
entire
other-
anus. Shut up.
Grumpy.
Watch his face.
Oh.
Go on, sorry, what?
Yeah,
I was just
sorry.
gonna say, like, watch Okawa's face. Just like watch how he like shifts up, like tries to switch up his facial features to mimic Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump is somehow possessing him.
It's already good. Fucking hell, he hasn't spoken and it's already brilliant. Oh. Okay. Okay. Let's steel ourselves. Let's go.
I'm not a candidate for the presidency. I'm the next president, you know?
The other politicians in U.S. are always afraid of criticism in the press.
Oh,
but
really?
why you can be so tough?
Criticism is New York cheesecake. For me, every criticism will be my advertising because I'm strong.
Sorry, I might have to make New York cheesecake a new sound alert. That might have to happen. That's
New
beautiful.
York cheesecake. Amazing.
Fuck, I'm gonna die.
And that was his answer to why he's so tough.
New York cheesecake, yeah.
New York cheesecake just makes you tough.
If your opinion and your activity prevail on this country, we will cooperate and make new leadership in the world, and U.S.-Japan treaty will lead next.
Of course. Trump's very concerned about Japan.
Well, one of my favourite Trump moments was from when he was in Japan, and they were feeding like some expensive koi carp or something, and
Do you know what?
and he just dumped the entire basket of food into the fucking water.
Do you know what
Did you
pissed
see
me
that?
off? Do you know what pissed me off? One of the few like little windows of solace I get is in the extremely conservative and probably right-wing tradition of sumo wrestling. But I love watching sumo. Sumo's fun for me, and I get to chill out, just watch some sumo and enjoy myself. Oh shit! Did we lose you, Kev?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Good. Yeah, I get to chill out, watch some sumo, and enjoy myself. And they fucking invited Trump over, and Trump wanted to be the person to give away the cup, right? The big fucking winners' cup, to the person who won that tournament. And I was just so fucking annoyed. I was like, can this cunt get out of my relax time, please? It's just like he turns up fucking everywhere. My God. And now apparently he turns up in Ryuho Okawa's brain as well. But
Well, I was convinced. I definitely think he would answer New York cheesecake. So.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, New York cheesecake. Oh, and that's the thing. Like his English is like not Jozu, right? It's not good. And he's like,
no, it is not, and like that's hilarious because part of his entire thing is like, my English is very good. And I'm like, it is not.
And but like there it is, dumping the fish food.
Unbelievably, like, almost priceless koi carp, which you're supposed to feed just a bit, a few scoops, and it just bungs the entire fucking thing in there.
But so,
dude, that trip was amazing. He and fucking Abe got little Best Bros hats made.
Yeah.
They got matching special MAGA hats made.
True, but then some ingenious homemade equipment dealt with one of them. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
The second generation problem. Cults break people, and those broken people go on to break other people, and hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
It's actually very sad.
Yeah. And one of them ended up blowing away Shinzo Abe because of his support for the Moonies. Fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the language thing. He's so obviously early on he channels all these people who speak different languages, but he channels them all in Japanese. And the reason for this is that these guardian spirits apparently have access to a device he calls the Powertron, which allows them.
Let's not ignore how awesome a name that is for a thing.
It's an awesome name for a Saturday morning American cartoon from the 80s. Yeah. Which apparently allows them to translate whatever language they would speak into Japanese. But over time, the spirits learn to speak Japanese, so there's no need for the Powertron anymore. And Oh. And I have absolutely no idea what the reason is for them starting to speak English, right? Like,
I feel like he just sort of like low-key ripped that off from like Douglas Adams. That kind of sounds like the Babel fish, but like,
yeah,
you know, with the Beep Boop Transformers name.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're very into aliens, the Happy Science cult. El Cantare is an alien. Like, all the gods are like an alien species, right? The humans were brought to Earth. Humans are an alien species, I believe, in the Happy Science religion, right? They were like brought to Earth by El Cantare.
Yeah, and like I think El Cantare is like a Venusian.
Well, that is a scientific theory, isn't it? That human beings are, was it exogenesis or whatever it's called? The idea that we may have come from somewhere else originally.
Well, yeah, but it's more that like life on Earth started because an asteroid with life, like bacteria.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
It wasn't like whole fully formed humans.
Yeah, no, it wasn't literally like flying aliens in saucers came down and no, it was it's like microbes of shit on a rock. Yeah.
We all evolved from shit and shall return to shit.
Yeah.
That's the message of the day.
Well, exactly, yeah. Look, I quite like the idea of us being from particles of shit. That seems appropriate. If I'm honest.
But yeah, do you want to watch the Margaret Thatcher thing again, just for Sarah?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, honestly, I want to hear him saying Dennis again as well.
Dennis.
All right, yeah, no, fuck it. We both.
Margaret, come down to this place and answer our questions.
You find you were dead yesterday?
Huh?
Can you understand?
I can't.
Oh.
I'm still alive.
Your ex-Prime Minister,
Prime Minister.
Margaret Thatcher?
I've been Prime Minister. Dennis!
One of the greatest Prime Minister in Great Britain. Everybody acknowledge it.
And not just Iron Lady, a hot Iron Lady.
Amazing.
This is what I said to Sarah in DMs. Like, he's such a great actor, isn't he? The way he puts on Trump's affects so perfectly, the way he imitates Margaret Thatcher's voice and composure so perfectly.
Oh,
He was wasted as a cult leader. Should have got a job in Hollywood.
Exactly.
I wish you could watch the Martin Luther King one, and I hate myself for like accidentally getting it taken down. One night I got really, really fucking high, and I was going to like see this guy that I was into or whatever, and like we were posted up at his place like over a weekend, and I was like, let me show you fucking Happy Science, dude. And so I went and I found all of the English spirit test videos. Because he did a few like in very good English, and one of them
very good.
One of them was the Martin Luther King spirit test.
I can't help but feel that would be incredibly offensive. The Nelson Mandela was horrific. So. Oh
my God, no! You know he'll like the way I pointed at. You just said he'll try to mimic their mannerisms and try to like contort his face to. Yeah, he did that with Martin Luther King, and it it was not good.
Oh Jesus. Yeah,
and
I need to find that now.
I can't, and I've tried to pay people. I've tried to pay people to go into a temple and like just like try to get it.
I mean, you can like download some of their shit from their website, but you have to pay, and it's ridiculous. And I don't want to give them money.
Have you ever had a Happy Science member contact you, try to pet you, fill you out?
I haven't actually.
They're quite polite, but they're like I don't want to have to. Like, they're much nicer than Fallen Gong, but, like, I don't want to have to deal with that shit again. Like, they, But, like,
if it ever happens, if it ever happens, I'll tell them that Martin Luther King was my hero, and I heard that Ryuho Okawa channeled his ghost, and I'd really love to see it. So
yeah, but, like, I'm just thinking, on a scale of 1 to 10, how racist was it?
No, dude, fucking like, I don't know the right way to phrase this. Oh God, how do I say this? If you were a fucking dumbass,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and probably like
Okay.
pretty racist yourself, and you thought, how can I make my face look like black man
Oh no.
and
Did he
speak
black up?
like black man?
Tell me he didn't black up.
Oh no, he didn't do like blackface, but he,
Okay, cool.
it's really like it's just like it's
Oh, I mean, yeah,
it's very.
yeah.
I don't think. I mean, it obviously like it wasn't. He was not. I think like trying to be like like maliciously racist, but
No.
it's still one of those things where you're like that. In this cultural context, like that is not like that's not.
Yeah,
we
like
don't,
Chet,
we don't,
like
we
Chet
do not
Hanks,
do that.
like Chet Hanks doing Jamaican potluck, right?
Oh, that was funny though. That was just really fucking funny.
I grew up with so
Yes,
many people who used to do that shit. Like it was unreal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was like unintentional. But I accidentally got that one because I got really high and I put all of the Happy Science US videos that they had uploaded of like English language, like spirit sessions. I got really high and I put them all on a YouTube playlist I specifically created for it. And I just called the playlist Good Shit. It was like 5 Happy Science videos and like a Yoshiro Imawano fucking Toyota commercial from like fucking 80s. And when I woke up, Happy Science had privated all of the fucking English language videos I put on the Good Shit playlist.
Oh no.
I know, I'm sorry.
Well, thanks, Sarah. Thank you so much. Honestly,
My contribution to the cultural canon.
Getting any cult shit taken off the internet is probably a good thing, but I don't know how much of a dent that would make in their recruiting. I feel like those are the kind of things that you want people to be able to see, I think, in general.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because if people come across something like that before they get invited by a very nice person into the I forget what they call them, lodges, you get invited by a nice person to come into the lodge and they'll explain to you how it's a very spiritual place and it's a place for meditation and healing, and we try and work out what the best path to human happiness is. That's our whole dig, and that sounds to a lot of people really nice and not culty at all, right? Like if somebody did that to me, I'd instantly be very worried, but like to the average person, it's very enticing. But if you see a video of him pretending to be Margaret Thatcher or Martin Luther King or whatever, if that's the first contact you have, maybe it warns some people off. You reckon?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's also like a cultural thing. I know that they do have members over here. I mean, like, they'll recruit from like the diaspora, obviously, and then like they'll send people over here to like get in touch with their family and shit and try to bring them in. But like they've managed to like get like some fucking white boy members, which is like okay.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I guess if you're in like an Atlanta suburb and you're looking for places to like fucking go and meditate,
they got a lot of white folks.
not a lot, no, really.
Yeah, enough. And they're, I was saying to Kev earlier, the Happy Science Australia is probably their most popular YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of people in Australia.
Well, let's think. If you want stupid white people, Australia, right?
Australia or Chelmsford.
True.
I grew up in Colchester. It's not far from Chelmsford. Those people are fucking idiots.
Oh, you grew up in the Roman capital of Britain. Nice.
I did. Oh. Anyway, sorry. That's enough about my life. Yeah. I mean, so do you have anything else that you're working on? Anything else that you want to talk about before we kind of wrap up, Sarah?
Nah, man. I'm just like, this is fun. This has been nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I suck at life.
You don't suck at life at all. Like I wasn't expecting you to just like be free on the day and time when I needed you, but I thought I'll chuck you a message anyway because we're talking about happy science, and I know Sarah wouldn't mind getting in on that. But yeah.
Also, you don't suck at life. I'm a streamer. I suck at life.
True.
So,
honestly, we all suck at life, and we can suck at life together, and that's great.
exactly. So look, we all suck at life, but some of us are looking at the stars.
True, or
You know?
something.
Yeah,
very,
something like that.
Very inspiring words, Kev.
Yeah.
I feel buoyed. I feel buoyant.
Good.
That might just be the.
Well, you should. Well, yeah, I was about to say you should be as a human. You shouldn't sink like a fucking stone. Jesus. Anyway.
It's all about that body fat percentage, right?
True.
Get a little bit chubby, you can save yourself from drowning.
Exactly. I am my own buoyancy device.
Anyway,
Fact.
thank you so much, Sarah. Nezumi_Ningen on Twitter, which is a very spooky ass fucking reference, by the way.
Sorry. Sorry about it.
No, it's fine. You know, we all name ourselves after serial killers' hallucinations. It's what we do.
He didn't actually, but he never had those hallucinations. It's like Berkowitz and the fucking dog. Like, it was just some bullshit.
It was just some bullshit.
It was just, yeah, he made it up.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Fair enough.
I don't know anything about this, so I'm just going to put a link to your Twitter in the chat.
Yeah.
And
That's the it's the otaku
I'm not
killer.
one of those creepy people who like. I'm not one of those creepy people who like photoshops like flower crowns onto Ted Bundy. Like, I swear to God, it's like a
No, it's just
reference.
All I'm saying is when the FBI inevitably dig up your back garden, they won't find anything. I'm sure.
No,
It'll be fine.
Fine, like, we're good. I like making friends and having fun online.
Yeah, I like making friends and having fun online too. Yeah, we'll definitely call you. We'll definitely call you up for the Orm stuff because, like, that is your real, like, I would say, area of expertise, right? I can't think of anybody else English language other than Lifton who knows as much about Om Shinrikyo as you. So
here's the thing: if y'all really want to do a stream on like Om Shinrikyo, I can translate and sub like some source materials that have like never been like translated or put out before. Like, I'll do that for you if you want.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely. That'd be amazing.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck we're gonna do next week. But probably in a couple of weeks we'll do the Om Shinrikyo if Kevin wants to carry on doing this show. We're actually doing a trial run at the moment where we're gonna do four shows and see how it goes, see whether he enjoys it. And I said,
like, what are you doing? Like,
we're basically just looking. So Kevin, no offense to him, is not like super knowledgeable on cults and stuff. And I wanted to do a cult podcast. And the few people that I reached out to who were really knowledgeable on cults ended up not doing it with me, basically for various reasons. One of them, his girlfriend really doesn't like me and didn't want me to do it with him. So, you know, it is what it is.
Well, look, she's just scared. Look, your pussy pops so bad that, you know, you're obviously going to take him off her. So it's just
okay. I very much doubt that. But so I asked a bunch of people who did know a lot about cults, and then I thought, well, I really get on with Kev because I do a lot of shows with Kev just talking about LGBT issues and politics and stuff. Why don't I just do it with Kev, right? So I guess we got this kind of dynamic going at the moment where we're sort of looking at a different cult every week. We did the Rajneeshis first week. We did Lovers one last week. We're doing obviously we're doing Happy Science this week, and then for me, it's very interesting seeing what Kevin pulls out of these. He's very perceptive. Like, he's already kind of like sketched out Lifton's 8 criteria of thought reform without ever having read it, just from like looking at the similarities from these different groups. You know?
Okay, but can you talk about me less like I'm a child learning how to write?
I'm sorry, no, I'm not.
and talking about me as if I'm not here. Like, he's a very smart boy, honestly. He just needs to apply himself more often.
I was paying you a compliment. Anyway, but and I think that dynamic works really well. And you also do actually do a lot of like study and research before you do the stream as well. I was like, fucking well surprised when we got onto the Rajneeshi shit. You had notes and everything. It was great.
I did.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, so that's basically what we're doing. Pick a cult, cover it every week, and try and emphasize essentially the things that connect them, the things that make cults, and a little bit of like the abuse and the way it kind of fucks people up, and try and draw a little bit of attention to that. I do want to speak to some when we do the Moonies. I've got a contact who's like an ex-Moonie who's pretty
Who are you talking to?
pretty cool. You know that what's her name? She goes by anti-cult, anti-fascist on Twitter.
I was gonna say, you talking to Alyssa?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I'll be talking to Alyssa, but I will hit her up when we get around to doing the Moonies, and if she wants to do it, then we will.
And like get Alyssa and like Teddy. See if you can get Teddy.
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 I don't know who the fuck Teddy is, but
Wait,
I'm
you don't
sure
know who Teddy is?
No, I'm sure you can. You
He's
can
a
send me.
former Mooney too. Yeah.
Yeah, send me a DM with his Twitter profile. I might already be following him because I follow a lot of ex-Moonies, but I just haven't had I don't remember interactions with the Teddy. So.
Sorry, I thought we were going to do a seance with the ghost of Teddy Roosevelt. I was excited then. Oh.
Shit. Teddy.
He said a lot of slurs.
He did. Yeah, talking about things that are unnecessarily racist.
He did not have to say half the things he said. I was like, I'm going to hang up the spirit phone. This is not really working for me personally. This is not.
I am the president. Yes. But yeah, I'm thinking of hitting her up for the Moonies thing, and yeah, give me Teddy's like Twitter profile or wherever he posts his shit, and I'll take a look at him as well.
So Teddy, what made you so racist? New York cheesecake.
New York cheesecake.
Nice.
Very good. But yeah, it's been lovely talking to you again, Sarah, and I hope I get to talk to you again soon.
Bring me back on because I don't have friends.
Aww. If you ever want to fucking like hang out and just watch anime or some shit, just send me a message. Like, I don't know.
I was about to say I'm not doing that on the fucking channel. Not at all.
No, we'll do that. We can do that off stream.
I will not support this kind of degeneracy.
We can talk shit. You can say all the TOS things you want. I'll fucking drink my own weight in Pepsi Max Lime, and throw up while watching fucking old ass episodes of Tenchi Muyo. I don't know.
Oh hell yeah.
We'll make it a good time. We'll make it a party. But yeah, we'll let you go for now. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Sarah. Everyone, go and check out Sarah's Twitter. I'll put it in the chat again, and enjoy life.
She's been on a shit ton of podcasts as well. Just like
we don't have to get into that. Like that's all like embarrassing shit. It's whatever. I don't know. I'm enjoying my life and like knacking on like dads now. That's
knacking on
dads.
Now. He doesn't love a dad. Honestly.
What?
Yeah. Who doesn't love a dad?
Right.
True.
Right.
Okay. Well, you have a great week, Sarah. We'll see you.
Take care.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for having me. All right, I'm gonna go now. I'm going now. Bye.
Oh shit.
Oh.
But yeah, there you go. That was the inimitable Sarah Hightower.
That was fun.
I like her.
Yeah, she's very nice.
I hope you had fun.
She sounds like our kind of people.
Yeah, she's definitely my kind of people.
Yeah, there we go.
Sure.
Thank you for finally following Mania Furibunda, who I've only been trying to get to follow for the last fucking hour. Jesus, you people! No, I'm only joking. Thank you. Yes.
What a great poll.
True. I am a good boy.
Runs with scissors is winning at the moment.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Dickheads. Absolute dickheads. All of you.